Rightio, joining us on the line from Charleston, and they just got the win as well too back on Sunday, which was Monday our time, 65-61 over Elon. I'm hoping I got that right. Reyne Smith joins us now. Reyne, hello to you.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Nice to get a win there on Sunday over there. Your time, mate. Must have been a close game for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to get a win. We were up double digits most of the game, and they made a pretty good run at the end, but glad we were able to hold it off and finish off strong and get the win.
And that's your first win in conference play. So you're 1-1 at the moment, which is pretty much very early stages. And of course, you've had a lot of non-conference games too after having a bit of a look at your fixture over the last couple of months. How have you been enjoying your time as a freshman over there currently?
It's really good. I think finally being able to play in the college game is really cool. And I'm learning a lot. Being freshman year, playing in a different country, it's been really fun. Great learning experience, and it's just, as I said before, it's been awesome experience.
You must be experiencing some new experiences as far as the whole setup is concerned, the way practices are run from game day to everything else. And not only that, of course, you've just only started school back up as well too, Reyne. So it must be all kind of interesting and exciting at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super busy. Pretty much my whole day is either classes, practice, study hall, extra shots, lifting. So definitely being busy. So it's been good though.
Is it important to have a good routine behind you to make sure that, yep, you're just ticking off the boxes each day?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's super important to have. And it was something I really learned when I was at the Australian Institute of Sport, about having routines, scheduling. It's you got to be organized here. Otherwise, you're just going to have schoolwork come on top of you. Then in season, we do scouting. So you got to watch film and other teams. So it can get pretty full on. So I think it's definitely important to have that routine and it's consistent. So that would definitely help you.
Speaking with Taylor Mole over the weekend, and obviously she's enjoying her time over at the University of Santa Barbara. But the stop staggered starts with COVID and games being postponed or cancelled. Is that frustrating for you guys at Charleston?
Yeah, I mean, definitely is. It's something we can't really avoid now. But I mean, after our Elon game, we got told that our game that was meant to be tonight was cancelled. So we're well, damn, because now we don't play until Monday. So game cancellation is frustrating, but I mean, we just got to control what we can control, and that's what our coaching staff's been big on, just how we respond to all of this, being elite, with our health, trying to avoid getting COVID, and then if it happens, we'll be ready for the protocols, and guys that are out quarantine and guys that are in will stay ready for it as well.
So you try not to allow this to affect you guys mentally as well?
Yeah, it's because it's been a different thing, and we know that it's kind of really hard to avoid. So I think as long as we control what we control, we'll be fine. We just keep practicing. Now, our team's healthy, we're good. And with the game cancellation, we just had a practice today, and just kind of staying ready and staying in shape, I guess, not just having a break because we don't know if there'll be games or stuff like that.
Do you guys obviously test and regularly and whatnot around that COVID stuff?
It's really only if you have symptoms. So because everyone on our team's vaccinated, and then if you're eligible for the booster, they've got that. So with that, there's you don't have to get tested all the time, even if you're close contact and everything, just because you're vaccinated, you get those benefits of being vaccinated. So it's rare that we'll get tested unless there's symptoms.
Okay. Let's dive into a little bit of a couple other things here, Reyne. And for a numerous amount of weeks or 4 weeks straight, you seem to pick up the player of the week for obviously the conference or non-conference or the
Yeah.
CAA
Yeah.
thing.
Freshman.
That so
Yeah.
say 4 weeks in a row. It's like, is there anyone else there trying to take your mantle off you, or what? Or is it just four? Was it just 4 solid games that just led to that accolade?
I mean, I played good for those 4 weeks. Like we had multiple games in each week, and when I was able to play really well, and I mean, I never really thought about it at all going into the season, and it kind of just happened. So I'm like, that's cool, but in the end, I'm not too worried about kind of individual awards that much. Like it's nice that it kind of comes along with it, but in the end of the day, I'm just trying to win games.
A more team focused you
Yeah.
are there, Reyne, and what is the ultimate goal for the team? Is it trying to get to that March Madness tournament in a few months' time?
Yeah, definitely March Madness. Like we've been preaching on that. We want to be our best by the time it gets to March and goes into like conference play, conference tournament, and being our best then. So I mean, it's definitely our goal to get to the NCAA tournament, and we're really focused on doing that.
And how does that work over there, Reyne? Obviously, it's a different system. Like, normally you'd play out a season here, and it's like top 4 or top 6 go through to the finals, and you had your elimination finals and whatnot. How does it work over there for you guys?
So if you win your conference, so you'll have your conference regular season, you get seedings out of that, and you'll play a tournament in the start of March. So you'll have your seedings, you play another team, and then if you win your conference, you get an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. So that's kind of how it all works. And then like usually it's more for like the Power 5 schools that don't win their conference. Like there'll be automatic bids for like teams that have had really good wins, really good record, that just didn't win their conference.
So is that like a wild card type scenario there?
Yeah, for the automatic bid teams, it's kind of like you kind of sit there. I think they call it Selection Sunday, where you kind of sit and see if your team's going in. But I mean, if you win the conference, you're in automatically.
Yeah, and it's a little bit different over there too, and we touch on the different kind of style of play over there and the different lifestyle as well too. I usually, when I'm watching things on telly and watching some things over the States where they have these kind of big nights, and there's teams are all waiting to hear if they're in or what seeded number they are. Is it similar to that with you guys that will happen?
Yeah, that like if we win our conference, we'll automatically go through, and then it'll be on that Sunday. We'll kind of see what our seeding is, and then that's how you see who you play and everything like that. So, I mean, we just got to win the tournament first. So that's our main focus.
That is the main focus. And what do you think within your team that you guys got to get better at as you try to progress to that point?
I mean, there's many things that we can work on. Like we've been watching a film a lot, kind of like ball movement, just seeing like different reads. Like you drive it in here, there's this, that, like what you should do, what you should avoid, and then like defensively, just seeing like our positioning, where we are, like help defense. So I think with this, like we're a new team, like no one has played with each other before. So I mean, it's a lot to learn, like against other colleges where they've had returning guys. So like our team's completely new. So I think that's been so we got, I mean, a lot of time to learn. Like we're learning every day. So like I said before, we want to be our best in March.
And with a new team comes new challenges. Is that something that all of you have embraced?
Yeah, I mean, like our coaching staff's really good. Like I understand, like there's going to be adversity at any point during the season. So it's kind of like how we handle that as a group. And like we've taken losses, bad losses, games like we should have won. So I think that's kind of made us a lot better because guys have responded really well to that. So I think that's a huge positive in where we want to get to.
And you speak about the coaching staff. You got Coach Kelsey there. How's he been for you in your first few months being there?
He's been really good. I think he pushed me to a whole nother level. I think like work ethic, like how I should practice, like how hard you can really go. Because like he's out there as well, like every day. Like there hasn't been a day where I've been here where he hasn't had energy like during practice. Like it's wild. Like there might be a day where you feel like kind of flat, but like for him, it's just like no. Like you're out there, you're giving it your all. So I think that's the biggest thing I've learned from him. Like on the court, it's just like kind of the standard of if you want to be a pro, then it's the best way to do it.
And of course, you've got your fellow Australian there and an assistant coach on the coaching staff, Mike Cassidy, and of course, for all our Basketball Tasmania people, of course, he's a former basketball development officer here in the state. How good is it having someone like Cass there with you as well?
I mean, it's great. Like it's a familiar face that, like he coached me at my first nationals in under 16. So I mean, it's really cool how kind of gone up, and then he's been there with me for most of the time. So I think it's really cool to have that familiar face there. Like if I need anything, I know I can talk to him easily. So I mean, it's definitely cool to have him here.
Absolutely. Send our regards to him for sure, Reyne. I just want to touch on this. We're just about near on 12 months when you did represent the Boomers, and obviously we haven't had I don't think we had a good chance to talk about that for obviously the PJ stuff, but I think personally we have. But just, thinking back 11 months ago, you were in the green and gold there up against New Zealand. What do you reflect on that now as you near 12 months on that one?
I feel like it's just kind of, it's just an awesome experience that you kind of cherish for the rest of your life. Like the first chance to play for the Boomers and stuff. So I think kind of learned me a lot how good I can be. It's like the national TV game on like KO and stuff like that in front of a good crowd and having play well. So I think that gave me more confidence. I'd say that like I can be really good, and think that I can compete with pretty much whoever. So I think that's kind of what I took away from it. And I mean, as I said, it's just like something you cherish for the rest of your life.
Definitely so. And does it make you go, hey, I want to get back here again at some stage in my career?
Absolutely. Like any chance that I can get to play for Australia, I'm taking that with two hands. So like it's something I wouldn't hesitate on. Like if I get invited to go to a camp, I'll be there. So I think that's something like representing Australia is, to me, like the greatest basketball accomplishment you can have for me personally. So.
And is that sky's the limit? I know you've got still three more years of the college stuff here, Reyne. But will there be something ticking in the back of your mind at some stage to go, this is where I'd like to be, or this is where I'd like to play after I exit Charleston?
Yeah, of course. Like you have thoughts about what you want to do in the future and stuff like that. But for me, I try and stay present in the moment, try and enjoy being in college, being around teammates, coaching staff, playing in the college game. So, I mean, like I've had times where I've thought about if I do this, I can be here and stuff like that. But I try not to look at it too much, I'd say.
Let's talk about the lifestyle over there currently at the moment. Obviously, a different experience compared to what is obviously back home. How have you found it?
It's been cool. It's hard to describe because like America's like it's so similar but so different at the same time compared to Australia. But I mean, the people here are great. Like teammates are really good, and like the students are super nice. So like, I mean, like when I've talked to someone, they super fascinated that I'm Australian, notice an accent. So I mean, it's always a conversation starter. But I mean, it's been really fun, like kind of enjoying that college experience, like hanging out with students, meeting just a whole bunch of different people.
Is it like how can I put it? Is it like it's like uni 2.0 really up there, isn't it? Like how we've got high school, college, then university, but then it's like you're automatically jumping straight into kind of university over there, really, to some degree, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it is university. Yeah, basically, like everyone here is like they went through all their high school, they finished year 12 and stuff like that. So they've moved on to here. So it's basically university, but there's kind of a different setup. I'd say.
Yeah. And what are you studying over there? Just quietly.
I'm still undecided on what I want to do, but thinking something lines of business or something like that. But I mean, I'm still trying to figure it out, doing different classes and seeing what I enjoy.
And you talk about the accent, and obviously your teammates. I'm sure they get a bit of a kick out of the Aussie accent. I know Taylor Mole
Yeah.
has that same thing down at Santa Barbara. Same thing for you.
Yeah, I mean, they try and mimic it all the time. Like, I'll say something that's a little different, they'll look at me and what'd you say? Like, so I mean, it's funny. Like, people definitely find it interesting, and I mean, they always try and mimic it. As I said, it's funny trying to hear them say something in an Australian accent.
Have you tried to offer them any kind of like Australian type foods or anything, or good old mate?
I've had I've had some Tim Tams stuff here, like, and like shapes, like barbecue shapes and stuff. And I have a jar of Vegemite here, and like they smelt it. Some of my teammates smelt it, and they're like, "No, didn't even try it." So I mean, I'll get a couple of them to try it at some point, but
that'd be great to see. Do you have much contact at home, Reyne? We obviously, we talk about family and whatnot, and how important the family is. Do you still keep in touch with your family?
yeah, I mean, I keep in touch with them all the time. So usually, because my day is like super busy, and basically, as soon as I finish all my practice and everything, like everyone at home is just waking up. So like that's when I like message mom, talk to mom, and so I mean it kind of works out all right. I'd say like I finish my day, and then everyone else just waking up in the morning. So that's when I find a good chance to talk to everyone at home, like talk to my brothers a lot, talk to my mom like every day basically. So I mean, there's definitely a lot of time where I'm able to talk to them.
And you try not to have too many late nights, of course, with the time difference over there.
Yeah, I mean, there's some nights where I get like caught up like talking to friends and stuff like that, where I look at the phone, it's like late, and I'm like, oh, gotta have to go to sleep now. But I mean, for the most part, usually pretty good.
And I speak to Taylor, and I speak to some other our athletes about this, the pathway. Just how important is the pathway? Obviously, coming through our programs, and then getting to that that next step of going to college and whatnot. Just how important was the pathway to you, and just how important is the pathway to anyone else trying to strive to get to college?
I mean, it's unbelievable. Like I've said this to other people in the past, I don't think I'd be where I am today without going through that Basketball Tasmania pathway. I feel like if I was from any other state, I wouldn't be here today. So I think what Basketball Tasmania did for me was unbelievable. Like what Rat did. I mean, I'm like not here now with Jack Jumpers, but what he did for like me and what he taught me, it was like you can't thank him enough, I'd say. I mean, it's super important if like you kind of learn. I feel like you learn the right way to play basketball through Basketball Tasmania, and like the coaching is excellent. They got full-time coaches that will help you in any way they can. So I think that's a huge advantage to having like players that take advantage of that will find success some way down the road. So I mean it's pretty cool what Basketball Tasmania has done for me, especially. So
absolutely, no, great words there, Reyne. Let's talk about the venue that you're playing at the TD Arena there, and I watched some clips through, and that crowd is absolutely loud when they want to be. How good of an atmosphere is it at your venue?
Yeah, I mean it's awesome. Like I said in one other interview in the past, where it was like it's not what you experience in Australia one bit. So I mean it's been awesome. Like our shooting section is crazy at times, like super loud. Our fans like super loud as well, like so passionate about like the school and the team and everything. So I mean it's been awesome. Like most of our games is like there's a lot of people there. So I mean it's been really cool to kind of experience, and feel like you can kind of get that energy from the fans and put it out on the floor. So I think it definitely gives us a good advantage.
Is it something as you say, it's very different compared to here? Is there just an extra kick in their step as far as they'll go up another notch? Does that kind of raise your awareness of like, hell, the crowd's getting behind us. I need to go up with them.
Yeah, I mean, I think early on when like in our first few games where like I haven't been under a crowd that's been that loud and stuff, we kind of got caught up in it a little too much. But now you kind of settle in and you don't hear it as much. Like you hear it, but it's not like a huge factor. Like for me personally, like I mean, it's great that it's like super loud and you feel the advantage and like you feel like you have to give it your all for the fans because they're there cheering as like loud as they can. So I think that's how I see it. But for the most part, I try not to hear the crowd as much, I'd say.
Do you try and block it out a little bit so then that focus concentration level is there for you?
Yeah, I mean, like if I'm out trying to listen to the crowd and like what people say and stuff, it's like I kind of lose focus in what I'm meant to be doing. Like there's times where someone in the crowd might say something funny, I just start laughing and like look over. But I mean, for the most part, I try and just stay focused on what's out on the court.
And is Charleston like one of the main teams within the community there, right?
Yeah, so there's no other sports team, like professional sports team in Charleston, and like we're right downtown, like our campus is in the middle of downtown Charleston. So we're really the main like sporting entertainment here. So I think that's what like a community really gets around it, which is cool.
And are you able to get out and about a little bit in spare time where you can and try to explore the place a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I did that like during some more before the season started, where we had a little more time on our hands, like free time. So, and I've had chances like just go around to different places around Charleston, and stuff like that. Especially like during summer, like go to the beach and just go around, kind of relax and take in like what the city has. But I mean, more season and like our times like always filled up with something. So there's not much of a chance, but any chance that we get, we'll do something.
And how's the weather over there at the moment, mate? You're in winter as we speak?
Mm-hmm. I mean, winter's pretty nice here, like, because we're more down south, so it's not as cold, not as near as cold as what it is up north in North of America, and like it's good. Like there's days where I'm wearing shorts and a shirt, kind of feels like summer at home. So I mean that's definitely a bonus. And then there's times where it gets a little cold, but nothing where it's like snowing in the minuses or anything. So that's nice.
That is very nice. And summer over here, but summer is very mixed at the moment. Sure, right? Now, what's ahead for you? Now, I believe your next home game, I think, is on the 17th, if I'm right.
Yep. Yeah, so we play next Monday at home, and then I think we have a two-game road trip on the Thursday and then Saturday. So we have 3 games on next week, so it'll be pretty busy.
So pretty busy road trip now. I'm pretty sure for anyone that want to watch the games, I think there is some site or whatnot. I think there's a small subscription fee behind that as well too. But for anyone that is keen, do you know the details, Ryan, off the top of your head?
So it's called Flow Sports, so FLO Sports.
Yep.
And I mean, there's a subscription you have to pay. I'm not 100% sure how much it is, but I mean, I know there's a fee you have to pay. So I mean, if you can watch it on there, that's the best way to do it.
And of course, the social media team there at Charleston does a fantastic job in making sure they get score updates and other things and that. Whatnot as well too. So obviously covered on all social media platforms, which is good to see, because it's like I see some of the small snippets from the social media team there, and it's a good way of keeping in touch of where you're at, but also where your team's at.
Yeah, I mean our social media is like, I feel like we'll be one of the best in the country, like with the content that we provide. Like our camera guy Tom is like a lead at what he does, like making all the videos, taking photos and everything like that. So he's really good at what he does, and I feel like to me he's one of the best in the country at putting out content.
No, it's fantastic to see. So for anyone that's listening to this interview, yeah, make sure you jump on Flow Sports then, and check out Reyne and the team from Charleston who are doing a good job. Have you been able to catch up with not catch up, but have you been able to keep an eye on what the other Tassie players have been doing over there, or have you been has it just been too busy to kind of just keep an eye on things on everyone else?
No, I always look at what everyone's doing, like they're from Tasmania, even friends from like AIS, what they're doing. I mean, I'm always checking up like every day, like looking at scores, stats, what they're doing and stuff like that. So I mean, I've like it's busy. I mean, like I still like nighttime kind of relax, chill out. So I mean, that's when I use time just to check what's going on with everyone else.
Very good, and nice to see in the background you've got the Australian flag there as well too, mate. It's good to see the flag being represented.
Hung up.
And now, when I spoke to Taylor over the weekend, she has like a massive shoe collection going on in the background of her apartment or where she is. Do you have anything similar there at the moment, Reyne, or not?
I got some shoes. I mean, my collection, it's growing, but I mean, I've got a little something. So.
I'll throw this question like I threw to Taylor, and Taylor has this funny story, which I'm sure you can see on the BJ socials about her shoes and the shoelace and whatnot. But we've noticed with Josh Giddey at the halftime break, he will change his shoes around and put on a different pair. Do you do something similar like that?
No, I mean I've never done that. I haven't really thought about changing shoes at halftime unless like shoes would give me problems. But I mean I haven't even thought about that. I might change my shoes. So okay. Yeah, unless like if they're broken or they're hurting my feet. Other than that, I wouldn't change.
Do you bring a spare pair to a game?
Yeah, I mean like at TD, like we go to our locker room and that's where like all the shoes and stuff are. So I mean like on the road I'll take 2 pairs as well, just know if one's going to break or not. So I mean I always have like shoes ready, but just never thought about changing them.
Yep. And as anything kind of any funny kind of moments you've had at the moment while you've been there or around your team?
I mean, there's definitely been funny moments. It's like kind of hard to pick one exactly, but I mean, there's like from our coaches doing something, some funny teammates also doing something stupid or something, just whatever. I mean, there's definitely funny moments that happen. Like, I think one like a Coach Kelsey, like he's like super passionate. So I mean, when he's like, I mean, it's funny as so like he'll be trying to describe something and just be like super extra, and then I mean there's some funny times, but I mean for the most part there's nothing that's like super stands out. But
does Coach go the long way around in what he's trying to explain it?
Sometimes I feel like he knows that like every time we do a film session he's like I'm not gonna be there for it because I'm just gonna talk the entire time. So I mean, so it's like it's funny. And like he'll jump around, like sprint around play on like the scout team and stuff like that. So I mean, he's really passionate. So it's cool.
Very, very good to hear. Reyne, it is great to chat to you, and it is always great to catch up with you through the wonderful technology of Zoom. I wish it could be in person. Is there any chance actually that you will get back home at some stage during the year, if allowed?
Yeah, I mean, I'll look at coming home the end of school year. If not, like prices for flights, quarantine and stuff, depending on the whole COVID situation. If not, I'll stay here, probably travel around America, but that's all kind of undecided as of right now when I'll be coming home next.
Well, if you do come back home, let us know. We'd love to catch up with you in person and
Sure.
chat then. But in the meantime, stay safe and stay well, mate. And thank you for your time.
Well, appreciate you having me.